Hello students, I am Rajiv sir. I will be teaching you chemistry in a standard 8A. Students, now I am going to start chapter 2, physical and chemical changes. In this chapter, you learn about number 1, classification of changes. Number 2, physical changes. Number 3, chemical change. Number 4, example of physical and chemical change. Examples of physical and chemical changes. 5th, conditions affecting evaporation, changes involve interaction, and the last point is changes involve energy changes. So you learned about this in this chapter. You can observe a number of changes around you, as change is a permanent feature in nature and in our surrounding everyday life. These may involve alteration in position, shape, size, color, taste, state, temperature, composition, and structure. Some changes can be noticed immediately. Some other changes are noticeable after some time, while many changes go unnoticed. Now, number 1, classification of changes. We can classify the changes in the following categories. Point number A, slow and fast changes. Slow and fast changes. Reversible and irreversible changes. Periodic and non-periodic changes. Desirable and undesirable changes. Physical and chemical changes. And chemical changes. Number 1, slow and fast changes. You already know about it, slow and fast changes. The change that occurs over a long period of time is known as slow changes. Slow change. It may take hours, day, months, or year for the change to take place. For example, germination of seeds, rusting of iron nails, changes of seasons, curdling of milk, etc. Now B. Fast changes. Slow and fast. Now fast changes. The change that occur within a short period of time is known as fast change. It takes only few seconds or milliseconds to take place. For example, burning of matchsticks, burning of fuels and fireworks, etc. Now B. Reversible and irreversible change. Reversible change. Reversible change. If a change can be reversed by reversing its condition is called reversible change. For example, when a twig of mimosa plant is touched, its leaf close. After some time, they open out as before. Another example is ice melts and changes into water on heating, whereas on cooling, this water changes back into ice. This is reversible change. Now, irreversible change. Irreversible change. Changes that cannot be reversed are called irreversible change. For example, burning of paper, weathering of rocks, changing of milk into curd. Next point is periodic and non-periodic change. Periodic and non-periodic change. Changes which are repeated after a fixed interval of time are known as periodic change. For example, swinging of the pendulum of a clock, heartbeats, changes in seasons during the course of year, etc. Non-periodic change. Changes that are not repeated at regular intervals and occur regularly, occur irregularly are called non-periodic changes. Non-periodic changes. For example, earthquakes, cyclonic weather, landslides, floods, etc. Next is desirable and undesirable changes. Desirable and undesirable changes. Desirable change. That change which benefit us in some way or the other are called desirable change. Desirable changes. For example, drying of cloth in the sun, formation of curd from milk, ripening of fruits. Now, undesirable change. Undesirable change. The changes which bring us some form of harm or cause destruction are called undesirable changes. For example, occurrence of earthquakes, breaking of a tumbler, rusting of iron, power failure, wear and tear of machines. Next point is physical and chemical change. First, physical change. A change in which no new substance is formed is called a physical change. A physical change. A physical change is temporary change, it is reversible, and the composition of the substance remain unchanged. Next is chemical change. A chemical change is a permanent. A chemical change is a permanent change in which an entirely new substance is formed. New substance is formed with different properties. It is a permanent and irreversible change in which the original substance loses its own composition and properties. It is not merely a change of a state, but the composition of the substance also changes. Next is endothermic and exothermic changes. Endothermic changes. A change that occurs with the absorption of heat is called endothermic changes. Endothermic changes. For example, melting of ice, evaporation of spirit, etc. Exothermic changes. Exothermic changes. A change that occurs with the production of heat, or you can say evolution of heat, is called an exothermic changes. For example, burning of matchstick, glowing of an electric bulb. Next point is examples of physical and chemical changes. A variety of examples based on physical and chemical changes are given here. You must learn from here physical and chemical changes. Some examples are given here. Next point is conditions of affecting evaporation. The following conditions affecting the evaporations are: number 1, nature of liquid. Some liquids like petrol, kerosene, etc. evaporate faster, while liquids like water evaporate slowly. That means rate of evaporation is slower of water than kerosene or petrol. Next point is temperature. When the temperature increases, the rate of evaporation also increases. Third point, surface area. Evaporation takes place from the surface of the liquid. Thus, if the surface area of the liquid increases, its evaporation rate also increases. And the humidity. If the humidity of air is high, evaporation becomes slow. If the air is dry, evaporation becomes fast. And next point is changes involve interaction. The interaction of two or more substances is necessary for a change. This results in some changes in the properties of substances which interact with one another. For example, in sharpening a pencil with a blade, both the pencil and the blade undergo changes. And next is changes involve energy changes. Energy initiates a change. When any change takes place, energy is either absorbed or evolved in the form of heat, light, sound, or any other form. So in physical change, there are two types of processes. One is the change of a state and the other one is dissolution of a substance in a liquid. Both these processes involve energy changes, mainly heat energy. For example, water when cooled can be changed into ice and water. When heated can be changed into water vapor. So in all these changes, some heat is absorbed or evolved. In chemical chains, the atoms and molecules rearrange themselves to form a new substance. This rearrangement involves energy changes. Energy in the form of heat and light is released and sunlight is absorbed. Now refer to the questions which is given on the Teno app as a homework. Thank you.